Hello and welcome to United Report. This is your home for all the latest Manchester United news, match updates, transfer stories, and in-depth analysis. Stay connected and never miss a moment. Subscribe now to stay ahead with everything happening at Old Trafford. Jose Mourinho has previously claimed that the manager at Manchester United needs to be allowed to focus on coaching, not have to involve himself in other aspects of the club. The special one is among those to try and fail at Old Trafford, but believes the structure was all wrong. Mourinho led the Red Devils for just over 2 years, but ultimately couldn't make the club English champions once again, despite being hired off the back of several title-winning exploits. His best effort was second, when he worked under the Glazers hierarchy led by Ed Woodward. Things have changed massively since at Old Trafford, with Sir Jim Ratcliffe now leading the club's football operations, but fortunes are yet to change. Prior to Ineos coming on board, the likes of Mourinho and Louis van Gaal had failed to have the desired impact in Manchester, and the special one insists that too many coaches have been axed for it to be their fault, instead pointing the blame elsewhere. He previously told Fabrizio Romano, "Some of them were very good, but none of them have been successful or survived for very long. You can't blame all the coaches. The only conclusion is that the environment in which they were working didn't work." Ratcliffe has taken a hands-on role with Omar Barada coming in as CEO. Dan Ashworth has been hired and since fired as the club's sporting director. Jason Wilcox also has a senior role, and Mourinho insists whoever is at the helm needs to be allowed to focus on the players and getting results. He said, "I think the ideal scenario is when the club has a structure that allows the coach to be the coach on the pitch, in the training ground, in the dressing room. I was the coach at Inter, at Real Madrid. I was the coach in my first spell at Chelsea. I was the coach at Porto. In other clubs, I was not just the coach, and that is a very difficult environment to coach." Mourinho finished 6th in his first season with the Manchester outfit, but did deliver the Carabao Cup and the Europa League. Following that, he landed 2nd spot, but then saw results nosedive in his 3rd campaign. He is being linked with a sensational return to Manchester as the club weigh up whether Ruben Amorim is the right man to lead them forward. Mourinho has never been shy in laying down what he wants, and appeared to take a swipe at the amount of roles he's had to take on in some of his previous jobs. In some club structures, you have to be the coach, you have to be the technical director, you have to be the communication director, he said. Then you have to be the image that defends the club, the players. That is something people realise, but at the same time, it is something the coach doesn't like. Sporting striker Victor Gyökeres could begin to look at alternative options, including a switch to Manchester United if Arsenal don't quickly back up their interest. The striker has been lighting up Lisbon with his incredible goal-scoring prowess since he made the jump from Coventry City. Under the guidance of Ruben Amorim, Gyökeres became one of the most feared goal scorers in Europe, with 95 goals in 100 appearances for the club. Following Amorim's departure, rumours are rife that Gyökeres will seek pastures new when the season comes to a close. Arsenal have been heavily with the Swede, with reports suggesting that personal terms had even been agreed with the player. David Ornstein, during a chat with NBC Sports, offered a new update on the situation. Victor Gyökeres remains in the mix for Arsenal. He is a player that Arsenal's sporting director Andrea Berta really likes, he explained. He is probably the best value for money option out there, but the time is ticking and other interest is building. We know that Ruben Amorim at Manchester United likes him, so let's see if Arsenal move on that sooner rather than later. Reports the Manchester Evening News. Ornstein hinted that United may step in if Arsenal delay any longer. But with a probable hefty price tag over £60 million, it's likely Amorim will need to secure Champions League qualification by winning the Europa League to bolster his budget. It is understood that the club's current strategy is to pursue Ipswich Town's Liam Delap in the summer transfer window. Despite Ipswich's relegation from the Premier League, Delap's strong performances have marked him out as a viable target to bolster the club's attacking lineup. Thanks to a relegation clause in his contract, Delap is expected to be available for around £30 million. Wolverhampton Wanderers talisman Matheus Cunha is also believed to be high on the list of targets for United's recruitment team. It promises to be a pivotal summer at Old Trafford after their worst ever Premier League season. On Sunday, after slumping to their 17th defeat of the season, Amorim hinted that unless he can turn it around, he should be replaced. He said, "I don't want to talk about the players. I'm talking about myself and the culture in the club and the culture in the team. I have that feeling. We need to change that. And we need to be really strong in the summer and to be brave. Because we cannot have a season like this next year. If the feeling is still here, we should give the space to different persons." United Report understands that the manager's position will be reviewed at the end of the season, with securing a place in Europe the top priority for the Old Trafford hierarchy. Manchester United have recognised Tyler Fredrickson and Chido Obi as first-team squad members as they begin to get increasing minutes under Ruben Amorim. Backing young players has been part of the club's DNA, and that has continued. Fredrickson and Obi, who have seen opportunities come their way recently, are now visible on the club's official website under the first-team player profiles. 20-year-old Fredrickson made his debut in the 1-0 defeat to Wolves last month. Obi moved to Manchester from Arsenal, having been recognised as one of the best players worldwide in his age group, and the 17-year-old made his full debut in the 4-3 loss at Brentford earlier this month. Both men were named on the bench on Sunday, as United were beaten 2-0 at home by West Ham, but ultimately didn't get any minutes. Fredrickson could yet feature in the Europa League final, having been added to United's B list, whilst the squad deal with injuries to 4 of their centre-half options. Obi, though, is ineligible to figure in the final against Tottenham next week, after United did not register the Denmark U21 international for their revised squad in February. Amorim has previously been hugely complimentary of Fredrickson and said last month, "He's really composed, he's really humble. Every training he has with the first team, he is really focused on every detail of training. He's really good on the ball, and it's a good opportunity for him." Obi, meanwhile, has been looking to take advantage of the issues United have in the final third. Several of the main forwards are struggling for form, and the teenager has been given opportunities off the bench, but the Red Devils boss has urged him to keep his feet on the ground. "He's just told me to be humble and keep working hard every day," Obi said on Amorim's advice. "And hopefully I get more opportunities soon. My dad and my mum always told me to be a good person and listen to my coaches because they want me to get better, so it's good." He added, "I've learnt to be smart and to think quicker by training with the first team because the game is quicker compared to academy football. It helps me a lot, training with them every day." Harry Maguire opted to get away from his Manchester United frustrations by heading to Bramall Lane to watch former club Sheffield United. The Blades destroyed Bristol City in the second leg of their Championship playoff semi-final to reach Wembley. Only 24 hours earlier, and Maguire was part of a United defence that conceded twice during their loss to West Ham, which kept up their poor home record. The loss was the 5th in their last 7 games as pressure ramps up on Ruben Amorim. Maguire came off the bench to replace Lenny Yoro, who was forced off with an injury issue. The Englishman remains one of the most expensive defenders in history, but he began his career with Sheffield United back when they were in League One. The centre-half was born in Sheffield and joined the Blades at the age of 7, progressing all the way through to their first team. He's since played for Hull City and Leicester before heading to Manchester, but has continued to attend games at Bramall Lane when possible. Maguire will have been pleased to see his former side progress. Their spot at Wembley was all but secured following a 3-0 win at Ashton Gate last week. The Blades, who finished third, completed the job with a 3-0 win on Monday night. Their commanding victory has them 90 minutes away from a spot in the Premier League. Chris Wilder is looking to take Sheffield United back to the top flight at the first time of asking, and they'll face either Sunderland or Coventry City in the final. Maguire played for Sheffield United in a playoff final at Wembley when he was just 19. The centre-half was already part of the first team with the Blades and scored his penalty despite Huddersfield Town ultimately winning out in a shootout to secure their place in the Championship back in 2012. The United defender previously said, "When I was around 10 years old, my dad used to take me to a couple of games at Hillsborough, but ever since I played for Sheffield United, I've supported them, and I played for them when I was 11 years old. I was ball boy week in, week out at Bramall Lane from when I was 14 until 16 or 17. Then I broke in, and made my debut. Maguire is currently part of a United side that will post the team's worst ever Premier League finish. He has played a major role in the European campaign though, and could help the side win the Europa League next week. He scored a vital last-minute goal to see off Lyon in the last 8.